Hello everyone, Zhurong here, and welcome to another video for Weishan Revolve. Hey guys, so the patch has been out for a couple of days now, and so far I'm loving this patch. Anywho, this patch has received a lot of changes that nobody understands, or maybe you do. For the new players that just started this season or last season, or just coming back, I'm gonna give you the rundown from the whole list in order, so it's easier for me and for you to follow along together. For this patch, we're going to be discussing about the character balancing, the system changes, the visual designs, and the training mode updates. There's not really much I don't need to explain about the visual changes, other than that the Raymer and kit designs look amazing. The only thing training mode has added is that you can finally set the CPU to have diagonal DI, which is something that everybody kind of needed. And also, if you go to the training settings, there's a toggle for push block now, so that's useful. Next in the patch mode is the story mode, and so far after playing the story mode after like multiple times, maybe like 5 times, this is actually really fun to bring into it. It gives you that subway emissary from Smash Bros. Like honestly, like I just love the vast things you can do in here. Like you kind of get that Angry Bird vibe as well, and then like you go through so many different obstacles. There are hidden routes too, and then like different other tech that you can use as to get through around the area, and there's also secret bosses around at the end of each of the level. For right now, Seth is the only one that they have for at the moment, but maybe later on in the future when they start like finishing up the patch, because right now the patch is not complete. Like we still have some stuff that are missing, but later on they are starting to like bring in more and more of the patch. But yeah, like the boss fight was actually pretty cool, like because of the new stage layout, and then like all the nice stuff at the background too. It just makes this map pop, and it makes it look really good, and it forces you to play the character that you're supposed to use for this specific part of the story. Later on we will be getting lore, and honestly I can't wait till like the rest of this is finished. Honestly, I really do love the story mode. Next on the list is system mechanics, and the one thing we're going to be talking about is the combos in this game. While the max DI angles have changed and the hit stun scaling has firmly increased, so that means you will be getting more hit stun out of your combos now. So now we're going to be talking about critical state, as in right now when the knockback has been reduced when you're in critical stasis. So that means if you get red bursted and green and yellow band, you won't die as early because the knockback has been reduced. Next, let's talk about burst, and right now the blue burst DI has been changed, so you are able to DI correctly when you are getting hit by it. What this means is that basically every single charge animation now has their own set time, so now not every single move is going to start at frame 1 anymore. There is a huge list at the end of the video, so I'm not going to talk about it here. All grabs now when they're ground rushing are 2 frames slower, and they have 6 frames of end lag now. And the auto throw, now after 1 second when you're holding the direction, it will throw automatically to whatever your stick or button is holding. They made some adjustments to push block and a few tweaks to shield, so now it looks promising now. Next is minor tweaks on tech attack, where multi-hit moves and vulnerability have been adjusted, and the attacker hitbox are 25 frames while defender hitbox are 10 frames. Now the big part of the patch is the character update. So now we'll be going through every single character's minor and major changes. So there are a lot of it, so let's get to it. The first character we're going to be talking about is Ezzie, and right now her airspeed has been changed, the fall speed, the gravity, and her drop has been slightly reduced, so she feels a little bit more floatier now. Next we're going to be going through is her neutral special. So now it has changed to a further more controllable projectile now. Now you have complete control, and when it does land your opponent, it does form into the seed that you see before you. Also that when you burst, your seed will disappear, and the green plant now has more of a DI angle. I don't know if the previous ladder combos will be the same, because due to this change, but I'm not know for sure. Maybe it could, maybe it couldn't, but we're not sure. So right now, yeah, so this is how her new neutral special looks like now. Just her up special, nothing too big, but the teleporting part of her up special is 6 frames faster. Side special now has a 2-second cooldown after your miss, and also it can be special cancel into a misfire version. Doomerang motor now shoots higher and it falls a little bit slower now. Nair from the late hiss has less shield stun. Bear is 1 frame slower. And there's also 1 frame slower. Next character we're going to be talking about is Ashani, and Ashani side special does have a new animation now. The second hit has been majorly tweaked. It no longer has a weak hit. The paralyzer has been added. You can SD out of it and it no longer shows opponents. Special has a new animation now, and the grounded version now fixed the bug where the first frame of the punch will not lose invisibility, and the down version no longer bounces off shields and parries. Up special is more DIable. The first hit of Nair has less hit stun, and the second hit of Nair has more spark delay. Now her forward aerial has scaling now, so that means she can't triple fair anymore. Last is her down strike, and her down strike, the strong hit of it has more shield push, and then the weak hit has a little bit of shield push. Also, she has edge protection. I don't know what that means though. Maybe someone in the comments can tell me, but yeah, she has it. Next character is Raymer, and his neutral special has gotten better. Every single ricochet shot will give you a bullet. The hit stun has been decreased every single hit, but the knockback gets increased every time you land a hit. Side switch also got some changes, like the kick, the hit stun, the recovery, the shield stun, all have been lowered. When you kicked it with a stasis grenade, it becomes a red orb after it's been kicked, and the orb now has a 4th health band, blue, green, orange, and red, and it goes faster from every time you hit it. The initial kick has been reduced. President now it requires 2 bullets and you gotta press it twice, and the second shot no longer spikes. The regular explosion of down special has been increased. Some of the knockback growth from stasis and regular grenade also have been changed, and when stasis grenades times out, now it just drops a grenade instead of disappearing. First hit of Nair's hit stun has been reduced. So down strike now, the strong part of it has less hit stun. The weak hit is 8 damage instead of 9, and the weak hit also has less hit stun, and the whiff lag on it is also lowered. And the first hit of F tilt, the hit stun has also been reduced. This character we're going to be going on is Seth, and what they did now is that they add friction into his charge and grabbing animation, so now he's not going to be sliding across the stage while charging anymore. So the side special overcharge can be jump cancelled right up to 25 frames. The projectile now has a paralyzer at the end and it explodes right after a little bit of time. You can touch the ground right after the projectile has already hit, and the stomp now from side special now has a paralyzer at the end. Up special cannot be eaten anymore. It no longer crosses up on shield, and now you get a little backdrip on the aerial version. Down special no longer has armor and soul point, and the overcharge version, the aerial and the grounded version have more stars. Next character is Velora, and the first part of it is her neutral special. Now her bullet can now be parried and clunk now. The cannonball and down special has been tweaked a little bit. The physics on it has been tweaked, and cannonball can now be kicked before it starts bouncing. Side special got a lot of changes, starting with the scaling after 3 times. It ignores the dormant Afi Galu totem. The kick, the slash, and the keg spark window has been increased, so now you cannot cancel off in between the hit, which was the reason why they made this change. So no more getting those ridiculous offstage side special reversals. Her fair starts later now on both charges. Nair has less shield stun and can now fast fall on later windows. Jab 1 and 2 has less hit stun, and grab is now 6 frames, just like the other characters. Next character is Kid, and his walk speed has been lowered by half. but the float can now be cancelled from wall jumps and grabbing ledge, which is really good. His 3 fuel pump now gets you spark on all the hits. His bear now has less recovery now, which is good to use off stage. His up air now has a higher DI window now. And his F tilt has more shield push now. Next character is Zhurong, and so now all of her specials from level 1 through 4 can be destroyed by any attack. Level 4 duration is 200 frames now. At level 5 can no longer be destroyed by an attack, and all the VFX from all the specials have been changed. Side special can now cross up on shield. Her new F tilt is a 3-hit strike. Her up tilt has reduced in lag. Her down tilt has more startup, and they changed the knockback rules, so her down tilt to up tilt is not confirmed no more. Her blue sword bear has less knockback, and her weak hit has less shield stun. Next is Weishan. So they fixed a bug where he was able to act up before his rush ended. So his side special now has hit lag when landing the move and hitting it on shield, while as the EX version shows the opponent and has 11 frames of reduced lag. Up special now, the regular one has no more armor, while the EX one has bigger frames of armor, and you can now cancel it just by holding the button now. Neutral special is no longer cancelable unless you have spark. EX version does allow you to cancel unless you sacrifice 5 HP. It does transition into the grounded version for 15 HP, and the grounded version is reversible now. Up air starts late if DIable, has staling, and has weak knockback. Fair has staling now, so now you can't get 3 anymore. Weishan's arm is now considered a weak hit and has whiff lag and less shield. Weishan has a new dare. Woo! Down tilt's inner hitbox is now a weak hit while having less hit stun. Weak and strong hit damage numbers have changed and it has less shield stun. Up tilt has less hit stun. And jab 1 also has less hit stun. Next character is going to be Urdah. Now her neutral special can be B reverse. Up throw is good now, just use this throw instead. Down throw, back throw, and forward throw all have the same hit stun multipliers now. They're all changed, so that means none of her old confirms don't work anymore. This F tilt is now smaller. Fair has a different angle and now it has staling. The charge time and the power are now increased on her bear. The last character is Afi and Galu. So Afi is faster in the air and on the ground, while Galu is slower on the air and on the ground. Both of them do have different frictions to compensate each of the characters, as Galu combos more and Afi is the powerhouse. So there's some of the mechanics between the totems, like you cannot swap during a mistech. Burst doesn't lock you out, but when you do get bursted, you still get locked out. You can delay the swap throw now by like a second. Totem's death is now 10 HP and the respawn time is now 10 seconds. The landing explosion from the neutral special has been decreased. So they give Galu more startup, while Afi has less startup on their fairs now. Afi's bear is now a projectile. The Afi's up air is now a projectile as well, but he can no longer land until the animation is out, and it cannot be eaten. Afi's F tilt is shorter, but they reduced the friction of it. Galu got a new move now, which is kind of like a little waterfall that spikes down. It does spike off stage as well, and Afi's down tilt can now slide off ledge. You remember this on the beginning of the video, how I told you that every single move now has their own startup time? Well, I'm just going to put them up in the screen because there's a lot of it. and that includes the alpha search patch notes. Then this took a lot to put together because I want to make sure that everybody got a good understanding to what they'd be expecting into this patch. I know this took a while. For many of you who already do have read the patch notes, then how about you tell me what was your favorite part of the patch? And honestly, I want to know. I also want to know if I left something out on the patch note. Please correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be wrong on most cases. And yeah, I will be getting more and more time now since school has been like okay for now, and sooner or later I will be able to make more videos and more guides for you all. So thank you all, follow and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye.